CTO, Opti9. Happy to be here. Opti9 is a managed cloud provider, and so we take ownership and responsibility to manage our customers' critical workloads in public clouds and private clouds. We also provide business continuity and disaster recovery services for our customers. And it's really about managing their hybrid infrastructure and matching up the right workloads to the right clouds.
Thank you so much for being here. One of the topics that we have found being quite highlighted here at Infrastructure Research Summit is the skills gap. Gartner has recently published an article on the shortage of skills, and it's at a crisis level. Which skills do you find to be most overlooked and needs to be paid more attention to?
Well, I think in our industry, there is a lot of pressure by the technicians and the engineers to keep up with the latest and greatest technology. You know, you might want to call it like shiny object syndrome, but every few years there's a new programming language or new platforms that come out, and they all feel the need to kind of ensure that their resume is kept up to speed so they can, you know, be relevant. There is a good amount of, I'd say, you know, technology-specific, you know, training material, content that's out there. But I think what's lacking in the industry right now is any sort of focus on soft skills for techs. And, you know, examples of those, and I think the best example of that is the skill of troubleshooting, being able to diagnose the system and fix it. And the great thing about being good at troubleshooting is that it is technology agnostic, meaning if you become a good troubleshooter, if you understand the art of troubleshooting, you can use that for your entire career. And it doesn't matter the language of the day or what you're working on, it'll make you more effective at your job. And so that is a skill that needs to be trained for. You know, doctors train for it. They do bedside clinics where they, you know, if they misdiagnose something, someone could die. I mean, you know, tech engineers and cloud engineers, it's not as bad. But I've been in situations where someone might be trying to fix something for 4 days and they don't know the right approach to breaking down and localizing problems and getting at the heart of them. So that can cause downtime, a lot of lost money, attacks, stuff like that. And I think in general, there is this overemphasis with specific technology skills. And I do think that the soft skills will get people further. Other ones are being a good technical writer. You know, being able to write technical documentation that your colleague at 4 in the morning can read, understand what's going on, and not have to call you. You know, again, that's a skill that needs to be trained for, and people need to be proud. Like proud of their technical documentation skill set, just like they're proud of their programming skill set. Being resourceful, you know, being a good Googler, that's a skill that you can train for.
And it's specialized.
Yeah, and so I do think that in addition to all of the technology, you know, that there are these other soft skills that will make people more well-rounded and just help them in their career long-term.
Absolutely. And what do you do at Opti9 to develop those skills? Any particular maybe programs you have introduced, or things you could share with our audience?
I would say that I don't have a good answer around it. You know, we try to train as much as possible, you know, during the onboarding process and scheduled sort of quarterly, you know, training sessions that we have, and trying to do like you know, brown bag lunches and stuff like that. But I always find that regardless of everything that we try to do, there's always more that should be done and can be done. And I find it's difficult. It's a program, right? Like you almost kind of need a dedicated person to be in charge of training, you know, and it's training on third-party technologies. It's training on our own internal systems. It's training on how to find information relevant to our customers at so many different levels. What I do know is when we release something new, if we have one phone call with our staff and say, hey, we released something, this is what it does, this is how you use it, you know, good luck. Doesn't work.
Have you ever attempted to catalog the skills of your organization? And I wonder how rich the catalog is, because we work with a number of MSPs where catalogs can go into hundreds of skills per an individual role. Is that the situation you guys are dealing with as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of skills. We have cataloged them at times, but what's interesting is I wouldn't say that we've ever used the same catalog. Like it's not like we have one place where we keep it up to date. We probably should. But yeah, it's right. It's more complex than just a simple list. There's all these dimensions to it.
Absolutely. And the product and services catalog is growing as well, and it's dynamic, a lot of changes for iterations to it.
Absolutely, and the mandates of what our technicians need to know, you know, every year there's more and more and more that we expect them to be able to understand and support.
Do you guys run with heavy certification compliance burden, and how do you manage that part of the business?
We do, and you know that's only getting, you know, more stringent every year. But we have many compliance requirements, certification requirements, and so going through SOC audits and similar audits by third parties and ensuring our staff is trained up on certain technologies and really a lot of procedures. That's important for us. It's very important.
So you are specifically, you're growing superhumans that have to align with the technical expectations, the certification requirements, and also they need to be great technical writers and good Googlers and communicators,
Everything,
right?
everything.
So I think one of the things that our company does specifically, and as you know, it's been built by operators, we've seen those issues throughout the years, and the systematized and automated process to keeping the skills catalog, aligning the catalogs with the product and services on a continuous basis, evaluating the skills, dynamically providing adaptive content to the employees at the right time, right? I think those are the things that will make a difference in the employee's experience life. And I think the soft skills also, I totally agree with you. I think those skills are not being highlighted enough by the industry. Why do you think so? Why nobody is sort of leading with those conversations? You're actually the first CTO we're talking to that's mentioning soft skills.
Because they're intangible, you know, and people want to gravitate towards technology. We're technologists, and you know, and I'm to blame too. When it used to be years ago, when I would sit down and interview someone, I'd rattle off a bunch of technologies and do you know it? Do you understand it? And you know, I think what I learned was, if you're good at problem solving, if you're good at troubleshooting, if you've honed in on many of these soft skills, then learning the specific nuances of one technology over the other is not terribly difficult. So, and you know, it's tough. How do you rate somebody on their troubleshooting abilities? I mean, I'm sure it can be done. We can create tests around it and all that. But I think it's really, really important. You know, and I've had situations where I've walked up to people and with very little context, be able to kind of, you know, figure out what the problem was. But you know, everyone in this industry is very intelligent, and I think once you show them what a troubleshooting process looks like, you know, it becomes straightforward, and they pick it up quickly.
And normally people that join your organization, have they already worked in the cloud and digital infrastructure space, or do you have some kind of internship program for your company? How do you find talent and recruit talent?
I would say we do all of the above. Okay. And a lot of it is dependent on the role. But we have hired people that are you know, seasoned industry experts, and we've also brought in people that are green, and in many cases was their first job. And you know, sometimes for us it's about hiring for personality and training for skill. And we found that we provide managed services and we work with technology, but really we're selling SLAs, we're selling trust, and so it really is all about people, and focusing on the personality, on the person first. That's been very fruitful for us.
That's great. Thank you so much, Sagi, for this time.